The latest on a government lawsuit over jobs and labor unions. A judge is holding hearings in Seattle to determine if Boeing can open a production line in South Carolina, not in Washington state. Boeing insists it has the right to do that, but the National Labor Relations Board calls it illegal, and at least 1,000 jobs depend on the outcome. 55-year-old Lee Gaylord never thought she'd be struggling just to survive. Unemployed for a year, she left her home in Tennessee to live in this trailer in South Carolina and learned to build Boeing's new 787 Dreamliner in a new billion-dollar plant in North Charleston.
I never thought I would do anything like this, but, you know, I can deal with it.
But Gaylord's job could be shut down before it even begins if the union representing Boeing's Washington state workers has its way. The hearings in Seattle will settle whether the company violated labor laws by taking jobs away from union workers by bringing them to South Carolina, a non-union state. At our town hall meeting on Tuesday, Governor Nikki Haley made it clear that South Carolina's position was good for business and creating jobs.
We are fighting the unions every step of the way. We are a strong right-to-work state. We're going to stay that way. That's what gives a company confidence to come and say, this is a state where we can make money.
The problem is that those jobs would be taken out of Everett, Washington, where employees are currently working in those jobs, and those employees need those jobs too.
Union leaders say the company relocated the jobs to punish workers over a 58-day strike in 2008. As proof, they point to what Boeing Executive Vice President Jim Albaugh told the Seattle Times last year.
The overriding factor was not the business climate, and it was not the wages we're paying people today. It was that we can't afford to have a work stoppage, every 3 years.
Boeing says South Carolina has lower costs, a world-class port, and that the company can move where it chooses. But if the hearing finds that Boeing relocated the jobs out of retaliation, it will have to move all the Dreamliner jobs back to Washington.
I want to work. Those are not my problems.
And this lawsuit has sparked a major political debate as well. Joining us now from Capitol Hill are Republican Senator Jim DeMint of South Carolina and Democrat Tom Harkin of Iowa, chairman of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. Gentlemen, good morning to the both of you.
Good morning, Chris.
Senator Harkin, I'm going to start with you. Boeing, they have a right to remain competitive. The climate in South Carolina suits their needs. Jobs are being created. So in layman's terms, what is the problem here?
Well, the problem is certainly a company can make a decision to locate wherever it wants, but it cannot retaliate against workers for exercising their legal rights. And I don't know whether they did or not, and that's the crux of this problem, that there is an administrative procedure, a judicial procedure to go through to determine whether or not that happened. And that is happening right now. I want to correct one other thing, Chris, and that is that there are other remedies to this other than saying you got to close the plant down in South Carolina and move all the jobs back. There are other remedies that could happen. The point being that a company should not be allowed to retaliate against people for exercising their legal rights and then move jobs away because of that. They can do it for a lot of other reasons, but they can't do it because of an illegal reason.
Senator,
and that's what the court needs to find out. Was that done or not? We don't know yet.
Senator DeMint, let me ask you to respond to that. Is this just a case of retaliation?
Chris, hardly. This administration should be celebrating Boeing. Since Boeing decided to build a new plant in South Carolina, they've added 2,000 union jobs in Washington state and more than 1,000 jobs in South Carolina. At a time when we're begging for jobs, again, Boeing has done the right thing. Boeing made an economic decision. It was not retaliation. If you properly represent what they've said, they talked to their union about the cost of stoppages. They've got a great new airplane. They need 2 production lines, and they decided to build a second one in South Carolina. No union jobs in Washington state were affected. In fact, I think the profitability that will come from Boeing will actually help increase union jobs in Washington state. But Chris, this is being done by an unelected bureaucrat here in Washington. They allowed Boeing to finish a $1 billion facility over 2 years, hire over 1,000 workers, and then they decided to come in and say, stop.
Yeah.
what this is going to do to other companies who want to locate anywhere in our country, what that means is more jobs are going to locate overseas, so they don't have to hassle with this kind of government.
And Senator Harkin, let me bring you in here again, because you're talking about the retaliation thing. And we're not positive it was retaliation. That's what these hearings will hopefully, that will unfold throughout these hearings. But there is no net loss of jobs here. So why is there this debate, especially at a time when this country needs jobs?
Well, obviously, this procedure should go forward. My good friend Jim DeMint says it's an elected bureaucrat. Well, that's like saying all of our Supreme Court judges, our district court judges, our circuit court judges are unelected. Of course they are. And that's why we have a judicial process. I don't know whether Boeing violated the law or not. All I know is that the General Counsel, after investigating this for many, many months, decided there was enough evidence to go to an administrative law judge to have this decided. Now, again, after the administrative law judge makes his or her decision, it then goes to the National Labor Relations Board. From there, it can go to the Circuit Court. From there, it can go to the Supreme Court. What Mr. DeMint and some of these corporate powers are trying to do is to interfere with that and bully these people into making a decision that may not be the right decision. They want to interfere politically in the judicial process, and that's wrong.
And Senator DeMint, let me bring you in here for the final word here. Can you say that your state is not providing a way for companies to circumvent the unions? It sounds, though, from your governor, who says we are fighting the unions every step of the way, that there could be an element of that there.
Chris, what we're fighting for is a worker's right to join a union or not join a union. There are 22 states like South Carolina that are right-to-work states. And unfortunately, what the senator has said is this is not a real judge. This is an acting general counsel who was appointed by Obama, and he has not been confirmed by the Senate as judges should be.
True.
This is not a good legal process. This is bullying and intimidation, and we've got to stop it.
Well, gentlemen, I know there is a whole lot that we could continue to talk about. This is a debate that obviously cannot be summed up in 4 minutes. Senator Harkin, I can hear you saying, not true right there.
Well, the general counsel was not appointed by President Obama. He's been there for 30 years, okay?
All right. Well, gentlemen, we got to end it there. I thank you very, very much. Senator DeMint, thank you. Senator Harkin, thank you both. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.